In the headlines, Work Online Dominica, the first of its kind, lauded a success. Prime Minister Skerrit encourages budding entrepreneurs to develop an entrepreneurship economy. And the Forestry and Wildlife Division warns no freshwater hunting this year. I am Andrea Louis with the Channel 5 News, back with the details after this.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid. But there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. We're in this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
Thank you for staying with us. First up, the first of its kind Work Online Dominica pilot project, now into its 9th week, is being hailed a success. Julian Morris has that story.
Work Online Dominica is an initiative of the government spearheaded by the Ministry of Digital Economy in partnership with IsraAid and the UNDP. A total of 143 individuals applied for the project, 88 of whom were shortlisted and 60 of whom started the 12-week-long pilot project in August. Livelihoods Program Manager with IsraAid Dominica, McNamara Joseph, says feedback from participants show the program has exceeded expectations.
94% of the respondents indicate that Work Online Dominica has met and exceeded expectations. And it was interesting to find out that 97% believe that by the end of the 12 weeks, they will receive a job. 30% are already receiving interviews for jobs. And we are very happy at week 7, we had 10 persons employed, getting jobs and gigs online. So this is tremendous success.
Joseph says participants are already providing feedback on how to improve the program for others to realize similar success.
Fiverr is an online platform where persons could apply for, persons could get work or gigs online. And Fiverr also have a learning platform where they have courses. The average cost of a Fiverr course is around $50. And each participant have the opportunity to do 10 courses online. Now, that's almost $500 US worth of instruction that each participant will be able to benefit from this program. In terms of recommendations, some participants recommend that, but we could try other platforms as well, not just Fiverr, to have longer courses.
IsraAid Dominica's Livelihood Program Manager is encouraging others to explore the world of online work, especially in these COVID-affected times.
The reality is that because of the pandemic, a lot of persons are moving online. Even so, they realize that the platforms are now putting more and more restrictions on the amount of jobs that you can apply for because there's a lot more competition. And the reality is that the world is shifting in a direction where people are working online. So, I mean, we are well poised in Dominica. We speak the English language. We have a very good education system, and we can do well working online.
The Work Online Dominica pilot project is being facilitated by digital skills specialists Marie Pascal Afana and Clementine Afana.
Channel 5 News also spoke with 2 of the participants in the pilot project of the Work Online Dominica program. Emily Roll, who has been keen on obtaining online work for some time, says she has seen results with this program.
My biggest takeaway is that it's possible. This online work, it works. It really, really works. If you put in the time and you apply what we're learning right now, it works. The program works. The opportunities online is endless right now. So it's you can even work online just as a part-time thing, or a project. Let's say you take on accounting and you have to do maybe some books just for 3 days, and you do that and you get paid. So it's for everybody right now.
Emily, who is a customer care specialist and human resource assistant, recalls her first online job through the Work Online Dominica project.
I was a bit nervous. The client was very, communication was easy. I asked my questions, there was answers. They talked me through some training and it went okay. And I got my 5-star review on Fiverr, so there you go.
Marlon Moses, who specializes in English to Spanish translation and vice versa, has already landed a long-term job through this project.
And right now I'm currently employed on a program in Canada, a radio program. And what it deals with is listening to radio audio, and translating, if it's a Spanish audio, translating it to English and entering that information into the database. For the past 2 weeks, I've been employed with them, and so far it's been rewarding. I get paid for the hours, and I put in the work, and I get whatever I input, I get the output from it. So far, it's been great.
Moses says he too will encourage others to get on board with the online employment movement.
As of right now, we're in the pandemic. And as you know, a lot of people lost their jobs. A lot of people don't have the employment that they used to have. So right now, the digital economy is actually the way forward. So like, if you have a skill set, as long as you know how to do anything, it could be typing, it could be data entry, as I said, translation, just apply out there.
In other developments, 54 contacts have been identified from COVID-19 case number 14. That announcement from National Epidemiologist Dr. Shaluddin Ahmed on Tuesday. Contact tracing is ongoing.
48 of them are negative. These were tested yesterday, results are out. All 48 that were tested yesterday are negative. All contacts are now under home quarantine. And let me take this opportunity to explain the definition of a contact in public health. Definition of a close contact, according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, someone who was within 6 feet of an infected person for at least 15 minutes, starting from 2 days before illness onset, or for asymptomatic patients, 2 days prior to the specimen collection, until the time the patient is isolated.
Effective Tuesday, 6th October 2020, the total number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in Dominica was 32. 14 cases have been detected since the reopening of the country's borders. The national epidemiologist says the majority of these cases is imported.
77% of the cases are imported, and the rest were contacts of the imported ones, and one is still under investigation. All imported cases were detected at the airport or at the quarantine facility while going through a mandatory quarantine phase upon arrival. These cases are between the age of 2 years and 59 years, with a median age of 33 years. All are asymptomatic and doing well. So far, 6 of these cases have met the discharge criteria and thus have been discharged home. And 8 other individuals still in isolation will be released once meet the criteria.
In other news, illegal entry into Dominica continues to pose a problem as law enforcement maintains the fight to protect citizens from community spread of COVID-19. The Deputy Chief of Police says while a lot of work has been done, it remains an ongoing task which requires the cooperation of residents on the ground.
The police operations have been successful to a large extent. 8 boats have been seized for investigations. Out of the many people who were reported to have illegally entered into Dominica, 4 have been convicted. 6 are pending trials, and 22 are pending investigations. We are reliably informed that individuals entering Dominica illegally are being protected by families and friends. Anyone who aids and abets another in the commission of illegal entry commits an offense and will be liable to prosecution in accordance with the law, the penalty of which is $3,000.
The deputy police chief believes it is time people accept responsibility for their actions.
We have said over and over that the French territories of Guadeloupe and Martinique have recorded a large number of reported COVID-19 cases. Yet we allow our families to enter the island illegally, knowing fully well that they are in violation of the protocols in place. The most recent COVID-19 case allegedly came in illegally and was seen attending various events and associating with several people, thus endangering the lives of many. The Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force will work assiduously to ensure that we bring these perpetrators to justice. Finally, I wish to state the Commonwealth of Dominica Police Force has been working with several agencies, locally and internationally, to prevent illegal entries and to curb any spread of COVID-19 in Dominica.
Mr. Valerie says while the majority of people are adhering to COVID-19 protocols, many continue to disregard them.
There are several reports emanating from the quarantine centers and the COVID-19 hospital of people behaving dishonestly and disorderly. The police have warned many, while several others have been charged for malicious damage at the quarantine centers.
You are watching the Channel 5 News. Stay tuned for more after the break.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
This video has been produced by the United Nations Development Program, UNDP, to help small businesses go digital. Good day, I am Rashida. I help families in the community to get everything they need without having to leave their homes. First, I started by presenting my business on WhatsApp. I also tell customers to take a photo of the sign for future orders. I keep all the numbers of my clients. With my database ready, I put together a catalog of products with prices listed to be shared with all my contacts. I also prepare promotions and baskets. When customers come by to collect their orders, we make sure they do not have to wait. Reactivate your business and discover new ways to reach your customers. More guides and templates are available for download.
Visit bb.undp.org. E-Future is now.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid. But there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. We're in this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
Welcome back. A strict warning to Dominican hunters: there will be no freshwater hunting this year. Julian Morris has the details.
The 6-week-long hunting season runs from 1st October to 13th November, a shortened version which also obtained last year to give wildlife time to recover from the impact of Hurricane Maria. Director of Forestry Minchinton Burton says in addition to the shortened hunting season, there are also stricter limitations on what wildlife can be hunted.
So the hunting season this year, which has been approved by Cabinet, is from October 1st to November 13th, 2020. The species that we're allowing to be hunted this year are free, only free-range species. In fact, doubly we have the hunting and fishing season, hunting and freshwater fishing, meaning that crayfish, you can stuff in the rivers. This year we're not allowing any freshwater fishing. This is only hunting. All right, so the hunting, and we specified, I think in our press release, that the free species that will be allowed to be hunted are the crabs and all members of the land crab family, the agouti and the manikou. All right, so no birds.
The mountain chicken or crapaud remains off the hunting list, as has been the case for the past 2 decades. Iguanas are not to be hunted. Dominicans are being cautioned to take along their hunting licenses whenever they go hunting, and also to adhere to the COVID-19 health protocols.
We must remind you that it's still an offense if you go out there without a permit from the division. So not because it's hunting license means that you have to grab your bag and your whole family, and especially now there's COVID. Again, we also have to remind people that COVID, you have to take care of the same protocols when you're going up, do not know large groups and, you know, physical distancing and stuff like that. But apart from that, it's important to note that you have to ensure that you get a license. Our officers will be out in the field, they will be monitoring, and when they see groups of people hunting, they'll be asking you whether you should always walk with your hunting license, because you can still be arrested and charged in the court if you are not in possession of a hunting license for hunting.
The Forestry Director warns that export permits must be obtained for those who plan to travel with wildlife.
Also to export, if you need to bring out any I must stress that again, any sort of wildlife out of the country, whether by the airports or by the ports, you need to have an export license from the Forestry Division. Normally, if you're caught, you lose your flight, and then you're taken to the courts, right? And then you have to pay that fine. So a lot of time, not even much the fine, but again, all the inconveniences because you lose your flight, etc. And then that is when people start crying, oh, well, you know, I didn't know the law. Everybody claiming ignorance of the law. You know, I didn't know how to get a permit, and it's just a little crab they're trying to bring for my family, 1 or 2 agouti. No, the law is that you must come to the division to get an export permit. So then we specify on the permit, you know, you tell us exactly what you're going to bring, we specify what you're going to export, so we show that permit to the port officer, so they know, so that then they can allow you to pass with it.
The export permit extends until the 30th of November.
Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit tells a group of budding entrepreneurs an entrepreneurship-driven economy is the way to tackle trade issues brought about by the World Trade Organization and globalization. The Prime Minister addressed 33 young entrepreneurs from across Dominica at the launching of an entrepreneurial and innovation hub this week. The group of young entrepreneurs is in the middle of a week-long workshop at Jungle Bay Resort and Spa. Other partners in this initiative, other than government, are the Organization of American States and the DAIC.
How do we manage the growth of a productive economy, even when the WTO and globalization have made it increasingly difficult to produce and more easy to import, or easier to import? The answer lies in an entrepreneurship-driven economy. We must create local champions who convert our pride in all things Dominican into consumption and long-term success. And while this government has done more for entrepreneurs than any other government before us, we have to do more. The primary difficulty for many entrepreneurs is not just knowledge or capital, but support.
The Prime Minister says young entrepreneurs require a lot of support.
Imagine a young entrepreneur with an exciting product being forced to sell at a price that doesn't allow them to even meet the standards of fair trade. Why? Because businesses who resell can easily import substitute products at even cheaper pricing for resale. There is no support mechanism in this. This form of capitalism is unfortunately very prevalent in Dominica. And when government gives duty-free to imported items, the beneficiaries often do not pass the cost savings to the consumer and instead build their bottom line.
And Director of Primary Health Care, Dr. Gilda Nesty, says contact tracing is key in winning the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. Contact tracing is critical in preventing the spread of COVID-19.
Contact tracing can protect you, your family, and by extension, your community. It is the process of identifying, assessing, and managing people who have been exposed to a disease, in this case, coronavirus disease, so as to prevent onward transmission. The goals of contact tracing includes early detection, early isolation of contacts, and reduction in community and healthcare associated spread. A contact can be classified as a high-risk contact or primary contact, that is a close contact, or a low-risk or casual contact. These are oftentimes referred to as our secondary or tertiary contacts. A high risk or a primary contact is anyone who has been within 6 feet of an infected person for at least 15 minutes.
Dr. Nesty says once there is adequate virus in the system of an infected person, they can now spread the disease. The disease spread can occur even before the infected person begins to show signs and symptoms.
When a positive COVID-19 case is identified, the contact tracing team is immediately activated and assembled to devise a strategy and plan for controlling the spread of the disease. The positive case, often referred to as the index case, is safely questioned during an interview while adhering to all the recommended health protective guidelines. If the individual is a returnee to the island, via whatever means, the interview will include details of every stop and every person encountered on his or her return. Further information such as names and nicknames of contacts are gathered. Addresses, telephone numbers, other locating information, as well as date of first and last exposure is also vital. It is most imperative or most important that the index case is honest and forthcoming. Withholding information stalls and weakens the contact tracing process. This defeats the process entirely, leaving primary healthcare with having to attain all this crucial information by other means in an attempt to curb the spread of the disease.
Only the Ministry of Health can advise people as to whether they should self-quarantine.
It is possible that an individual can reside in the village, neighborhood, or community where a positive case has been identified and still not be a contact. That goes to say that everyone in a particular neighborhood where a positive case has been detected should not take it on their own to decide to refrain from school or assume sick leave from work. Neither should an employer or principal turn his or her employee or student away unless being properly advised by the Ministry of Health. During the course of self-quarantining and depending on the information received, the primary contacts are tested for COVID-19 using a PCR nasopharyngeal swab. If signs and symptoms of COVID-19 are suspected during the quarantine period, the contact will also be tested for COVID-19. For safe testing to occur and to prevent breach of quarantine, a mobile team is dispatched or deployed to the address of the primary contact. Contacts are therefore asked to please remain quarantined. Please respect the quarantine measures and quarantine protocols until medically cleared or otherwise advised by the Ministry of Health.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
We are strong, we are resilient, and we will get through this together. But these are stressful times, and it's important to also practice good self-care. It's normal to feel overwhelmed, anxious, or afraid. But there is hope. Reach out to someone, connect with your friends, stay in touch with your community, and know that you are not alone. We're in this together. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD, all for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
To end the news, the headlines again. Work Online Dominica, the first of its kind, lauded a success. Prime Minister Skerritt encourages budding entrepreneurs to develop an entrepreneurship-driven economy. And Forestry and Wildlife Division warns no freshwater hunting this year. Feel free to access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Andrea Louis. And to all of our viewers around the world, thank you so much for watching. Join us tomorrow.